that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance and more, tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
In a world where power shapes with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing.
And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world, because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
Hello Nigeria, welcome to another exciting episode of the Issues on Voice of the People television, where we bring you the most important and pressing issues shaping our nation today. I am your host, Nenna Ndumdioto. Today on the Issues, we're examining the complexities of Nigeria's politics and governance, from Atiku holding talks amid Obi Kwankwaso's alliance rumors, to 80 Kaduna worshippers returning home after 2 weeks. Also, Onitsha traders comply with Soludo's directive and reopened shops. And finally, death of rising staff from snake bite intensifies call for improved health care. Join us as we break down the fact and provide context to help you stay informed. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll dig deeper into these topics. Don't go away. Glad to have you back. Let's dive straight into today's discussion. Former Labour Party candidate Peter Obi has reiterated his intention to run for the presidency in the 2027 general election. Peter Obi says he will be running for president in 2027, reaffirming his commitment to offering Nigerians what he describes as a people-centered alternative to the current political order. His announcement signals a continuation of his role as a major opposition force and a central figure in third force politics. Meanwhile, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has held talks with leaders of the Action Democratic Party as speculation rises around possible alliances, particularly amid rumors of discussions involving Obi and Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. In a related development, the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has accused the ruling All Progressive Congress of coercing civil servants and government workers across several states to join its ongoing e-registration exercise, describing the alleged practice as economic coercion and forced membership. Reacting to the criticism, the National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Congress, Felix Morka, said these criticisms are driven by fear, jealousy, and intimidation over the APC's ongoing nationwide membership registration exercise. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by two distinguished guests. Here in the studio, we have Dr. Peter Anosike. Dr. Anosike is a philosopher, development economist, and best-selling author. He's also an erudite commentator on economy, finance, politics, and power. He's also the author of the most talked about book titled Abuse of Power: How Democracy Turned into Tyranny of the Few. Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Joining us virtually, we have Barrister Ejiofor Umegbo, public affairs analyst. I'm glad to have you join us. He will get to join us later on in the show. Dr. Anosike, let me start with you. You know, this Peter Obi has restated his commitment, his declaration to run for presidency. Do you see him, let me start with this, do you see him succumbing to anything short of that?
There's nothing like reinstated. Nobody runs for the vice president. Nobody runs for the vice president. Vice president is at the whims and caprices of the presidential candidate. So nobody runs for vice president. So if you declare today, you say I'm going to run for the president. So you cannot say I'm going to run for the post of the vice. So nobody runs for vice president, which will be saying what he's supposed to say. Understand? You cannot be going into a competition. You say, I want to come second. I want to come second. You say, I want to win. At the end of the day, the universe will decide who gets what. So what he's saying is what he is supposed to say. That he's going to run for the president. Emeka, the former Minister of State, Wanjoba, has said the same thing. Rotimi Amechi has said the same thing. Atiku, that's what they should say. So it's nothing new. It's not a big deal. He cannot say, I'm going to run for the office of the vice president. No.
But okay, but do you actually see, okay, if you said the universe determines who actually wins the case, who actually wins the presidential ticket of the ADC. Yes. But let's look at this. Do you see Peter Obi succumbing to something different if he doesn't win the presidential ticket?
Circumstances determines one's action. Understand? Circumstances determines one's action. He said that he's going to run for the office of the president. If he fails to get it, then he might now think of other options. Understand? So whether he gets it or not depends on the preparation that he make. Understand? The same thing with Atiku, the same thing with other people who are interested in that.
You know, talking about preparation, what came to my mind is, how do you think he can actually increase his chances? That's Peter Obi now. How do you think he can increase his chances?
What other chances do other people have?
Okay.
What other chances do other people have? Let me know.
No, because I ask that question is, some persons would say that if you put Atiku and Obi side by side.
Those are speculations.
Yes, we know that are speculation, but those are some things that Nigerians are saying. That if you put Atiku and Obi side by side, Atiku might win. There are higher chances that Atiku would win Obi in the primary. That Atiku has more chances to win in the primary than Obi?
What are what are the chances that Atiku has more than Obi?
Atiku has the money.
And Peter Obi
Atiku has the people.
Peter Obi doesn't have.
Peter Obi, we won't know that.
Have you gone to Atiku's account and Peter Obi's account?
I'm not
people
saying
just say what they don't know.
Nobody's saying
this
Dr.
is just speculation.
Nobody's saying that Peter Obi does not have the money. But from his antecedents, it's been said that he's not as liberal when it comes to things like this compared to Atiku. And that is why people would say there's a possibility that Atiku would win him in the primary.
That is speculation.
Okay.
David Mark has said that that everybody is going for the primary. Understand? Whoever wins will now be the flag bearer of ADC. So Peter Obi has thrown his heart into the ring, Atiku and others. Now, what it means who wins is the preparation. And understand me, one, there will be delegates for the primary. Understand? So what is there for those who are interested is to go and campaign among the delegates. So if they feel that it is money that's more important to them than moving Nigeria forward, good. If they think that interest of the nation is more important to them than money, good. So for me, if Atiku has money, Peter Obi has integrity. Understand me? So if Atiku is pushing more, if
Atiku pushes,
there had never been any day that Atiku put his money on the counter and Peter Obi put, and we know who is Richard. Okay. It has not happened. Nobody knows Atiku's bank account. The same thing with Peter Obi.
Okay, I understand that our virtual guest he's connected to the program. Glad to have you join us, Barrister.
Yes, glad to join you also.
Yeah, so
good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening. So let me bring you up to speed to what we've been discussing. So we're talking about the fact that Peter Obi has restated his declaration to run for presidency. What I want to ask you, with all of this, Peter Obi has always restated his commitment. It's not the first time. In your own opinion, do you think this is him telling us, he has even said it actually, that he's not running for the vice president? He's not. So do you think that with this constant restatement or reiteration, that even if he loses in the primary, do you think he would not decide to go for any other thing?
My take is that all of them are potential leaders of Nigeria. All of them who have thrown their hearts into the ring has what it takes to govern this country. It depends. What remains now is for them to galvanize support amongst the party faithfuls in order to get the party tickets. Whoever gets the party tickets will now come up to the pedestal for Nigerians to evaluate. For Nigerians to evaluate him, evaluate his antecedents, evaluate his capacities, and know if they will vote for him. Nobody is above or below any other person. Peter Obi is capable of being the president of this country. So, very, very capable of being the president of this country. The same thing with the former Minister of Education, who has also thrown his heart into the ring. They are all qualified, but the internal dynamics of who gets the ticket of ADC is what all of them should consign themselves with now. It is after the primaries that those of us who are ordinary Nigerians will begin to evaluate them. They are bringing.
Okay, with this reinstatement, do you actually think that Peter Obi would eventually go to another party if he loses the presidential primary, if he loses the presidential ticket of the ADC? Do you see him going back to Labour Party? Do you see him just to get their presidential ticket?
Well, some political analysts have described former governor of Anambra State, Mr. Peter Obi, as someone who is becoming increasingly inconsistent and as someone who has shown incapacity in grooming, in maintaining a political base. I listened to the former spokesman of PDP the other time on the national television, Showumi, who in his analysis said, and I verily believe him somehow, that President Buhari, the late President Buhari, have always maintained his 12 million votes. Whether he is in AMPP or CPC or ADC or APC, the same way, Atiku Abubakar has shown some level of consistency in his number of votes, and then also maintaining his political base. But my dear brother and former governor Peter Obi has been known to be, politically solvent. Let me use that word, politically solvent. That means he changes direction and focus depending on the dispensation. It is not a good commentary on his person, but that is what it is turning out to be. For now, as of now, no one can particularly say what Peter Obi is bringing to the table. How many votes is he sure of? Is it 4 million? Is it 6 million? Is it 1 million? We are not sure. His political career depends on the spur of the moment, on the emotions of the people, depending on the variables, the political variables at play at a particular point in time. So because of that, you cannot particularly say that, or you cannot particularly gauge his political strength.
Okay.
He can spring surprises.
Okay.
Excuse me.
He may spring surprises or he may not.
Okay. Dr. Anosike, I'm going to come back to you, Barrister. Dr. Anosike, you seem to have an opposing opinion to this.
100%. 100%.
Do you think
how many times has Peter Obi run for president of this country? How many times? Just once, 2023, and he was described as a tsunami.
You know, aside from the presidency,
show me more. Is it a person? What is his credibility? The man is believing the lies of his enemies. Show member is a Tinubu's apologist right from time. Understand me? Buhari's framed 12 million. Imagine what human beings are believing. 12 million in 2003, 2007, nobody dies, nobody is giving birth.
So are you saying that those 12 millions are not a purported number? Is a purported number? That's not actually the actual number?
Where is it? Understand me? So 2020, P2B has run for president for just once in 2023, and he messed everybody up. Defeated Tinubu even in Bodendon and in Ikeja. Who else has done this? Understand? Even that all the five state governors, Sonudo, what is his name? Sonudo, Ifani, Ugwani, Ikbazu, Hope, Ozodema. Dave, all of them worked against him, and he scored more than 95 in all the states in the southeast. Who else has done this? So his credibility cannot be questioned by any sane human being. He remains the most popular, the most credible, and the most transparent Nigerian as of today. Nobody gets half to him. We know what's happening in the southeast. Understand me? Imagine using a shoe shiner who had not even stayed there. That's 100 meters to P2B. That's analyzing P2B.
But you said something. You said you know what's happening in the southeast. So what do you think? Can you expatiate on that? What is happening in the southeast? That's what you said. You said you know what is happening in the southeast.
It's obiphobia. Understand? The governors in the southeast are jealous of obese popularity. All of them. And even if one of them die, incarnate 5 times, nobody will love them as they love P2B.
When you say the governors in the south, is the past governors or the present governors? Because we have some new governors now.
Both the present and the past.
Including Alex Otti.
Both the present and the past.
But Alex Otti seems to be in alliance with Peter Obi.
I say both the present and the past. The governors in the southeast. And even if they incarnate 5 times, they cannot reach where P2B is. Understand me? So somebody saying that P2B is inconsistent, as if P2B has run for president for 10 times.
Okay, let me ask you this. Some persons have actually said that the fact that Peter Obi, one of the things he says is he's coming out for the presidency for the good of Nigeria.
Nobody run for the vice president.
Do you think that Peter Obi is actually desperate to be a president of the country?
He is doing what he is supposed to do. Understand me? I want to redirect this country. But if the citizens say if the powers that be say no, it is Nigeria that lose, not P2B. It is Nigeria that lose, not P2B. Understand? Because even if a dedica of rice begin to sell 100,000 naira, P2B will never go hungry. So he's coming to better the image of this country. Before I walked into the studio, there was a report that I read. Tinubu says that electricity users should pay more taxes. Understand me? That's a news that just broke before we come into this studio. Understand? So what this government knows is imposing hardship, suffering on the people because they lack the common sense of how to grow an economy. So they feel that the only way they can raise money is imposing taxes.
Okay, let me go back to our virtual guest. Barrister, let's look at this alliance, or this rumored alliance, because it's not certain yet. The rumored alliance or the alleged alliance between Obi and Kwankwaso. Do you actually see this working, this alliance? Do you see it actually coming to the light of the day? Or seeing the light of the day, rather?
Well, I will be happy to see that alliance come. That is the kind of thing we need in this country to get our country back. It is alliance. From 1960 till date, our political system has been forged by credible alliance. 1963 to 66, it was the alliance of NCNC and Northern People's Congress. In 1979 to 83, it was the alliance of MPP and then MPN. The same way all through. So Nigerians are better off with such strategic alliances. And I will want it. I want to see it now. I want to see it now. It will be a good tidings for all of us if it eventually comes to pass. But it can only come to pass when politicians in their own right learns the tactics of give and take. What the great Nnamdi Azikiwe, the Owelo of Onitsha, called the politics of compromise. You don't hold so emotionally to your own position. You don't hold so steadfast to your own interests. But you let go of something in order to gain something. That is what the former president, IBB, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, called a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, and the system becomes balanced. For us to get the desired balance, we should not play politics of emotion, politics of the mob, politics of what Socrates called democracy as government of the mob. The mob will never take us to anywhere because the mob it's always wrong. That was why the great philosophers of old talked about philosopher kings, that it is the philosopher kings that makes society better, that improve the society, not the mob. So let us not be deceived by social media propaganda of some beer parlor analyzers. If Obi and Kwankwaso can come to a round table to discuss and have a headway, that is better for all of us. If Obi and Atiku can come to a round table and forge an alliance, with credible alliance, with everybody putting his cards on the table, putting his interest on the table, just like Nnamdi Azikiwe used to do in those days, when he was able, through alliances, get the highest number of ministers for Southeast, for his people, even when his people or the Southeast did not have the majority of the votes cast in the election. But during the time of Nnamdi Azikiwe, as an excellent negotiator that he was able to get a Senate president from the South, Speaker of the House from the South, majority of the ministers from the South. It's all about forging alliances. It's all about
let me come in here, Barrister. Let me come in here.
Politicians of these days, my worry is that politicians of these days listen to beer parlor analysts and beer parlor discussion more than following simple political arithmetics to get things done, whereby everybody holds on to his own interest. I must be president. That is one thing I hold against Peter Obi. You don't say you must be president. You go to the table. You go to the field.
Okay,
You
let me
look at
come
your
in here.
strengths and your weaknesses. By your strengths and your weaknesses, you can now better say what you can offer and what you can get from the political calculus. Not to say, even before the whistle is blown, you are saying, I must be president. Who does that?
Okay, can I come in here, Barrister? You know, I'll come back to you, Dr. Nosike, but let me ask him this. You know, while you were speaking, you said you would like to see an alliance between Atiku and Obi. So the alliance you're hoping to see, would it be that you're thinking or you want to see Obi being the vice president to Atiku, or the vice president and the running mate to Atiku? Is that what you want? Is that the kind of alliance you would want to see?
I am leaving the options open. I said an alliance of Atiku and Obi would be okay. That means we will get the 2019 ticket. Let me tell you, I don't mince words to say it. No matter what emotions or anybody can share, that 2019 ticket of Atiku and Obi is the best thing that can happen to this country. If Nigerians can get that 2019 ticket, we can go back to that 2019. Forget about the then. If we can get that 2019 ticket, I can bet you that Nigeria will be better for it.
Okay.
If the 2019 ticket does not come to pass, Obi and the Kwankwaso ticket will not also be a bad idea.
Okay, thank you very
much. I will
much.
also support it.
Okay, thank you. Let me get the view of our our guest who is in the studio. I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Dr. Nosike, I'm sure you want to say something about this.
Yeah. So I just want to correct one thing first. In 1970, that the MPN accord then, MPN got the Senate president. Understand me? Why NPP got the speaker in the person of Edwin Umezuoke. Understand? So NPP did not get the Senate president. The Senate president then was from Cross River State. Understand? So I just want to correct something. Then another thing, P2B is never saying that he must be president. He said that he is running for the office of the president. You don't say that you want to run for the office of the vice president. Understand me? Everybody is running. When you now go there and you do not win, you begin to think again. But there's one thing which he said, which I have even written in my book, that the Atiku Obi ticket is the best ticket that has happened to this country.
Wow, so you actually support that statement?
I have written it in my published book. Atiku Obi ticket is the best thing. Assuming that ticket has sailed through, Nigeria would have gone far by now. With Atiku as the president and P2B as the vice, and the vice, the president is in charge of security, the vice is in charge of the economy. That Atiku Obi ticket is the best ticket that we have had since 1960 till date. So it's unfortunate that ticket did not materialize. And if you come again in 2027, I will support it wholeheartedly because it is the best ticket since Nigeria became independent.
So what actually made that ticket not to see the light of the day? That alliance between Atiku and Abubakar?
Well,
Atiku and Obi?
The rigging machinery of the APC. Understand me? The rigging machinery of the APC. That time Buhari was alive. Buhari was the most influential person in the north. Understand? So they selected this young man. What is his name? Mahmoud or Yakub. Understand me? And so that is it. But if that ticket has sailed through, Nigeria will have become the largest economy in Africa by now.
Okay, so with what you're saying, so are you saying, one of the things that what I asked him was about the alliance between Rabiu Kwankwaso and Obi. So are you saying if you're to choose that an alliance between Atiku and Obi, would it be better than an alliance with Obi and Kwankwaso?
I prefer Atiku Obi ticket.
Okay, now not Kwankwaso.
Not Kwankwaso.
Why would you think that Kwankwaso and Obi would not work, or Obi and Kwankwaso?
Not working together. I'm talking of what they have to offer this country.
No, why do you think that would not fly? That alliance.
I'm not talking of flying. I'm looking at the bigger picture.
Okay.
Understand me? What they have to. You don't just run for the office. It's what you are going to do in that office. So these are two experienced people, Atiku and Peter Obi. Understand? This guy, Kwankwaso, has been a former governor of Kano State 2 terms and defense minister. So I've not really seen what he has done in terms of development. But we know what Atiku did when he was the vice president for 8 years. Understand? The BPE helped to transform the economy of this country. Understand me? And the Atiku is a businessman. The problem that we have been having in this country since 1960 is that we have not had a thorough businessman rule this country. And when you combine two thorough businessmen, Atiku and Obi, Nigeria will change.
Oh. Okay, but let's look at it this way. When you look at alliance talks, would you say they are driven by ideology or pure electoral arithmetic?
One, there's no ideology anywhere, even in America. Understand? Because MAGA is not the ideology of the Republican Party. It's just Donald Trump's own vision of disruptive innovation. So, in politics, the vice president complements the vice presidential candidate complements the presidential candidate. Understand me? That's why you choose a vice presidential candidate. The area you feel that you are weak, your vice will complement you. Maybe you are a Muslim. Now you choose a Christian, so he will help you in gathering Christian votes. Understand? Maybe you are from the north, you choose somebody from the south. Understand? He will help you in gathering southern votes. So what the vice presidential candidate does is to complement the presidential candidate in the area of his or her weakness, which will be including women too. Understand? Because women can also run as president of this country and even win.
Okay. Okay, well, yeah, definitely. Okay, let's go on. Let's move to, this development that came up. The ADC has accused APC of forcing civil servants into e-registration. And they are saying that, they are coercing civil servants and government workers across several states to join their ongoing e-registration. And the APC has come out in reaction to this, and it's saying they are being intimidated. That's why they're saying this. Before we move away from this topic, can you quickly talk about this?
Well, I don't have any evidence to
back that up.
But there's a difference between registration and voting. If you force me to register, you cannot force me to vote.
Okay, so you're saying that the fact that if at all there's anything like that happening, that they're being registered as members of APC does not mean that
enlarging their register. it will not enlarge their vote.
Okay, let's move on. 80 worshippers who escaped abduction during a bandit attack at Komin Wali community in Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State have returned to their homes. The village head, Ishaku Danazumi, who disclosed this, said the 80 returnees fled when armed men stormed the community during a church service on January 18, 2026, abducting several people and forcing others to escape for safety. Dan Zumi further disclosed that although 80 worshippers escaped from being abducted by the bandits, 86 other worshippers are still in the custody of the kidnappers. Let me come to you first, Barrister. I'm sure you've been following this particular story. You know, at first we assumed that it was 167 abductees, like 167 church member worshippers, they were abducted. Now we're seeing from this report that 80 of them actually ran, according to what we're seeing. They ran away as a result of the attack. They ran into the bush. And then 2 weeks after, they are coming out from hiding. You know, what do you make of this turn of event? At first, we thought it was 167. Now we're hearing that 80 just went into hiding, and only 86 are actually in the hands of the kidnappers.
Nigeria is a theater of the absurd. Each morning we wake up with one funny story or the other. This is just one of them. It is now difficult for one to even believe anything again, especially when it has to do with security. You know, all of us are in this country. When the abduction of Chibok girls were so much dramatized and publicized and politicized, at the end of the day, we heard that all those things were hatchet plans and gimmicks to dislodge the government of the day. Now, once it comes to security issues like this, and numbers are being brandished, I usually, swallow it with a pinch of salt. I usually don't totally believe. Neither am I in the position to also disbelieve what our security agencies are telling us. Now, the question is, the 80 worshippers who now eventually found their way back to the village, where were they all this while? Were they hiding underground, or were they hiding atop the trees? Where were they that our security operatives could not, find them and bring them back to succor? And they were allowed to wallow in the bushes or forests or in the wilderness for all this while. So does it mean that our security agencies have now agreed that there are some ungoverned areas in this country where people will stay or can hide for this number of weeks without anybody finding them?
Okay.
So some of these things are hazy. Some of these things are questionable. Some of these things are very skeptical to believe.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's get to hear Dr. Anosike's opinion on this before we move to the next story.
I share the same opinion with him. So there was a kind of an invasion of your church, of your community. 80 people ran away. Understand? They stayed for 2 weeks. What were they eating? At least if something happened and you ran away, within the next 24 hours, you must find your way back. Because you know that your family, understand, will not be at peace. Understand? your children, your community will not be at peace. So where have they been for 2 weeks now coming back? Is it still in Kaduna or they went to Cameroon? Understand? So for me, and again, how did all of them come back at the same time? Which means all of them ran to a particular spot. What have they been eating? What have they been eating since then up to now that they decided to show up? So for me,
where can 80 persons stay? 80 persons. How can say 80 persons conglomerate together and stay for 2 weeks without our security agencies finding out the place? So it means that some people can actually stay. Some maybe call it a secret organization or secret society or some hoodlums can actually stay in such a place for 2 weeks and plan whatever they want, their nefarious activities, and then come back to the village and execute it. Just like these people now came back to the village after 2 weeks. So some people can stay somewhere for 2 weeks without anybody knowing, and then come back to a village, assuming these people now that came back now are the evil ones, are the bad ones. So they can, after 2 weeks, come back to the village and still launch mayhem on that village without anybody finding them out. It doesn't mean that anybody can stay somewhere, and our security agencies lack the satellites, lack the telecommunication gadgets to spotlight them wherever they are.
Okay.
For 2 weeks, 80 people. I quite don't believe this.
Okay, let's move away from that and let's move to something.
And it means they must have been wearing the same dress that they wore that day for 2 weeks, because there will be no time to go and get a spare anything. Understand me? They must have been wearing that same dress that they wore on that day for 2 weeks. How possible?
Okay. Let's move on. Let's move to something that concerns you. I'm sure you're in Anambra State, so I will need you to speak to that. And of course, also Dr. Anosike. Onitsha main market traders have begun reopening their shops in compliance with the order issued by the Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo. Let me come to you first, Barrister. Does this mean that that there's confidence now in the Southeast, that there's restored confidence in the Southeast, Charlie, with this compliance of the order to open, or the directive from the state government to open their shops?
Well, I wouldn't call it confidence. I wouldn't. The fact is that our people were coerced into weekly sit at home by non-state actors. Now, it will naturally follow that it should also equally, because action and reaction should be equal and opposite. So it should also take the coercion of state actors to get the sit at home obliterated or nullified.
Okay. So are you
now,
saying, okay,
the state actors have now woken up from their slumber to actually exercise the might of the state. That is commendable. That is a good omen. Having slept on their rights for a long time and allow non-state actors to command us and play us like football to whatever direction they want. Monday sit at home, monthly sit at home, February 15 sit at home, and all whatnot. Because the state actors refuse to act. Now that the state actors have now woken up from their slumber and have begun to act, our people will equally not have any other alternative than to comply, just like they have complied today.
Okay, because of time.
Soludo is doing the right thing, but it took him so long to come to this point because maybe for political reasons, for political exigencies. He couldn't do this before the election, before in his first tenure.
Okay.
He has stabilized and consolidated. He can do that. But no matter when he chooses to do it, I am saying that he has done well.
Okay.
And I commend Professor Ludo for taking this bold step. It's only a bold step like this can get this anomaly corrected.
Okay.
Because this anomaly was
I'll
also
have to cut
foisted
you
on
here.
us.
I'm so sorry, I'll have to cut you here because I also want Dr. Anosike to just in one sentence share his view about this. Because of time, I would have to let you go. Dr. Anosike, we're out of time. So in just one sentence,
the issue
what do you make of this?
If the government of the day are exercising their power, this sit at home wouldn't have lasted more than a month. For example, Enugu has four military divisions. They have 82 div. They have barracks. They have Okonano barracks. So their security, which they have refused to use. So for me, it's a wake-up call. Let this thing go around the whole Southeast. Because this sit at home is destroying the economy of the Southeast. So it should come to an end.
Okay, thank you very, very much for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Anosike, for joining us. And thank you, Barrister Ejiofor, for being with us as well. That's all we have for today's episode of The Issues. We explore the challenges facing Nigeria's politics and governance. Thank you for being a part of it. Don't forget to tune in next time for more in-depth analysis and discussion. Follow us on social media to stay up to date on the latest news and insights. Until next time, stay informed. I am Nnenna Ndomdioto. This has been The Issues on Voice of the People Television, where the future faces forward.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also